What is up, everybody? We're back here for another episode of Dock Talk West Virginia, and we have previous co-host tonight on the show, Mr. Chris Schafer, and we got an interesting show tonight. We're gonna do a little recap of the Hobie Bass Open Series on the Susquehanna with Chris. We're gonna dive into some stats. He's actually got some cool data analysis that we're checking out, and we're actually gonna talk about that a little bit, both on the Susky and here back in West Virginia. We're going to do some talking on that. But then after Chris goes, we got some other stuff we're going to jump into, some results from over the weekend, plus the whole Major League Fishing controversy that's happening right now, and plus some other stuff. But Joey will be joining us here shortly. I think he's away. He's going to jump in the middle of the show. So once he jumps in, so don't be surprised when he comes in. So all right, without further ado, Chris, man, how have you been and how's it going?
I'm doing good, man. I'm a little tired. Just got back from a 3-day weekend up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at the Hobie BOS Susquehanna River tournament. So I'm kind of recouping now.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely need to recoup after that smackdown y'all boys put on them up there. That fishing was insane.
It was. I mean, we had heard leading up to the tournament that the river was extremely low, lower than it's really been in a long time, and so didn't really know how that would affect the fishing. But if you paid attention to the results, you saw it didn't have that big of an impact. So.
Yeah, it was. Y'all blew it out of the water for sure. And man, I'm telling you, there were so many 18-inch fish. I think it was unreal how many got weighed in. So definitely cool to see. Those are all three, and some of them probably 4-pounders, I imagine.
Yeah, I would say so. I had my scale on me, but I never took the time. I should have weighed a couple just to get an idea of what they did weigh. But I would say they're probably in the 3.5 range. Some of them close to 4.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, I wanted to jump on here, and I wanted to get your take on it. Your take on the Susky first, kind of walk us through practice, and then how the event went for you. And then we're gonna dive into some stats we got here. But yeah, let's hear about practice. How did you break the Susquehanna down? I don't know. I don't remember exactly where you finished, but how did you break it down? How did you go about doing it?
Well, when I heard the water levels were lower than normal and lower than previous years, so this is the third year that Hobie has hosted an event on the Susquehanna. It's really turning into one of their biggest events of the year. They're really engaged with the city, Harrisburg, and it's just really blowing up. I mean, the venue that the city provided and everything is just really nice, top class. And so, anyways, this is my third year doing it, and the first year that I went up there, I was lucky enough to finish in the top 10, and the water levels were this weekend was lower, but they were still low then. So I tried to take some things I learned from that weekend and see if I could apply it to this upcoming tournament. And so I had one practice day, went out, and essentially was trying to find deeper areas of the river relative to that section of the river. And so I kind of thought maybe those would maybe hold some of the more quality fish. And so, on practice day, I was out just, power fishing, throwing a plopper, things like that. And man, they were super shallow. So the whole trying to find deeper water thing on practice day really didn't look like it was going to play out. Because those fish, the cool thing about the Susquehanna, have you been up there, Chase?
I've never been, but y'all are making me want to go. So,
Dude, it's so cool. I've never seen redfish. I've never been fishing for redfish, but one of the similarities that I've seen from my videos I've seen of people who redfish is, when they're super shallow, you'll see people, fishing for those fish down down south, and you'll sometimes see wake from those
Oh
fish
yeah.
super shallow, like their backs out of water.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's how most smallmouth on the Susquehanna are.
Yes, to go off that, I just saw a video. I just reposted it on my Instagram story. Noah Miner posted a video of the first one he caught on day one, and the bait had not even hit the water yet, and the thing was like waking out of the water to come get it.
Dude,
It's
it's
wild.
intense. It's intense, man. Because just like you could throw if you're throwing top water. I am not exaggerating when I say I've caught 19 and 20-inch fish out of there in less than 6 inches of water, 6 to 12 inches of water.
I believe it.
I mean, if you think it's too shallow, I mean, it's probably where you need to cast. And so, yeah, anyways, you can cast up super shallow water and you can just see the wake of that fish from 15 yards away coming at it, and then they just blow it up. So, and then the fight's on. Those fish fight like no other fish you have experienced, man. I've fished the Great Lakes and some of the other popular smallmouth bodies of water, and they're comparable in size, but not the way they fight.
Fight, yes. It's just in that current, man, in that shallow current. I can only imagine like how intense it is.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. When you get a 18+ inch fish on your line, you really do got to be prepared as far as having your gear and everything, set up correctly, and or you'll lose that fish, man. They'll break you off real fast. So
yeah, it was just it was wild. Just the video I saw was just wild, and I can't wait for somebody to post some YouTube videos on that because I want to watch all of them now.
Yeah,
it's just wild. I feel like everyone caught him on a popper though, like on a plopper though. I feel like the whole field was throwing it, which I'm totally fine with. I can sit and watch videos of fish blowing up on ploppers all day.
Well, I mean, that's actually not what I caught him on, and I think that was a little bit my downfall on day two is I abandoned top water too fast. On day one, I finished day one and I was in 21st place. I was only 3 inches out of, I think, the top 10 or something. So I was in a really good spot after day one. And I was catching all my fish off of a jig and a jackhammer. Really never got – I did catch one keeper off a plopper earlier in the morning. But then everything was off a jig and a jackhammer. And and I think day two, I abandoned the plopper and top water to kind of try to force the day one bite, and that was my downfall on day two.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you probably had a little bit of a weather change going on day two.
We did. I mean, weather looked really promising on day two, man. The temperature dropped a little bit. It was overcast. Yeah. I mean, perfect for top water. I thought it was going to look really good. And I started off the morning hitting some spots that are produced on top water in the past, and I didn't get any good bites. And so, I was also, there was 200 anglers in this tournament. And even though the Susquehanna is a huge river, we were sharing spots with a lot of people. And I saw a couple of people that morning kind of inching closer to where I'd caught quality fish the day before. And so I kind of abandoned where I was at and shot straight down to that section to kind of basically, get on those fish before somebody else could. And just the same quality fish weren't there. And
to me it seemed like, and I was just watching the leaderboard, so I have no idea. But to me, on the second day, I got to watch the leaderboard real close. But it seemed like it wasn't as productive in the morning as it had been the first morning. It seemed like the first morning everyone lit them up like right off the bat, like it was insane what I was seeing. And then the second morning, I mean, it was still good, but it wasn't not near as good as the first morning.
Yeah. See, I didn't check the leaderboard at all, day one or day two. But like what you just said, I had all of my 5 keepers on day one by, I think, 10 o'clock. So it was the same. So that's kind of how it played out for me too. Is the better bites were right out of the gate in the morning. Day two, I don't know how the rest of the field was. Like I said, I wasn't watching the leaderboard, but it took a while for me to start catching fish that were even halfway decent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was definitely different, dude. I can't wait. I'm gonna have to take a trip up there at some point and go try to catch some of those smallmouth because that's y'all boys had some fun. But yeah. Anyway, on top of that, so what did you end up finishing in the on that one?
38th.
38th. That's a really impressive finish. I don't know who was the highest West Virginia. I think Storm was up there, I believe, but I'm not sure.
Storm finished. I think he was 30th. The highest West Virginia angler was Joshua Jordan.
Yep.
He cashed a check. He finished 16th out of
That's so
200
awesome.
anglers. Yeah, it was a great showing for him and a lot of the West Virginia guys.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into that in just a minute, but I just I want to let everyone know that this is watching the show. I know we're recording on Monday. This actually go out tomorrow, but do stay tuned for next week's show. We're gonna bring on Nolan Ewing, who finished first and second next week for next week's show. So keep in mind for that. We're gonna get the rundown on that. But man, you had sent me before the show. You had sent me this little this little data sheet that you took and showed. Let's pull it up here on the screen if I can, and we'll just kind of move it. This is gonna kind of block us, but we're gonna pull it up anyways. I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but it's kind of in the middle in between us. So this is the top 50 anglers per state. Now I want you to break this down and explain this to everyone who's viewing this as to what this means here.
Well, so you didn't know it before the show, Chase, but a lot of the OG kayak anglers know I'm kind of a data geek, and so I enjoy doing things like this. And I thought it'd be a neat little talking point and a good way to shout out the West Virginia anglers and their awesome showing at the Susquehanna River event this past weekend. So what you're seeing here basically is I just took the top 50 results from Tourney X, and beside each angler's profile name, it has which state they're from. And so basically I just took that and compiled that data and then broke it down here to kind of show how West Virginia fared against the rest of them. Because this is truly a national tournament. There's anglers from all over the United States that attend this. And so as you can see here, based off of the top 50 results out of 200 anglers, West Virginia had the second best showing, only behind Pennsylvania, which obviously with the Susquehanna being in their backyard, that's to be expected. A couple of things I will also add. I didn't want to provide falsified numbers, but technically I count Matt Ball as a West Virginia, but he's under the Ohio stats here. And then since Nolan went to WVU, he is now a West Virginian too, even though he has VA beside his profile name.
Yep.
So
I agree. So we could have had 10 in there, really.
Technically, we should have had 10. So
yeah, I agree.
But anyway, that's we were at the captain's meeting Friday night. All the West Virginia guys were sitting at a table with each other. It was Matt Ball and Joshua Jordan, all those guys, Storm, Brian Butcher, Mikey Holcomb. I don't want to leave anybody out, but all the guys from West Virginia was at the same table. And basically, we were sitting there talking, and he basically said, if you finish, if you're the top finishing angler out of this group of guys sitting here, you're going to cash a check. And we were right. I mean, Joshua Jordan ended up finishing higher than all of us, and he cashed a check because we knew, the West Virginia guys always show up strong at these events, but especially the river events, they especially seem to do well in. And so,
I agree totally. Cause I don't know. I can't speak for the Susquehanna because I've never been there, but I mean, it's surely fish is somewhat similar to what we have here at home. And, the guys from back here are talented enough that even if there is a small difference, they can pick up on it pretty well. And that same thing can be said for the, for the bass boat guys too. We have guys on the go fish national tournaments in the boats and do just as well. So we see it all the time, man. There's a talented group of anglers in West Virginia, and that's for sure. And they normally, most of the time when you get a national tournament, they normally show out. So we have at least quite a not a whole bunch, but you'll have quite a handful of them show up to the top of the results.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's bass boat or kayak anglers, I mean, our guys have always fared well at a national level. We were talking about that too this weekend, and I don't know what your view on that is, but on why that is. But I kind of think it's just where we've grown up having to grind so hard to catch 18-inch fish.
Yep.
Like it's a not easy to do around here.
Yeah,
this in a tournament, and I think it's things that we don't understand that we're learning at the time, but I think we develop instincts on how to find bigger fish, in tougher situations, and that ends up shaping out good for us on tournament days when fish have been pressured and beat to death all week, and that's kind of my opinion, but.
Yeah, man. I just had this conversation not too long ago. What you kind of piggybacking on what you just said about us West Virginia guys. We're always in the grind for that that one big fish, and it seems like to me, and I don't know how you feel, but I just feel like the people around our state have a way of either changing up like a bait or a technique, or just having that instinct to go find that one big one that can jump them ahead of so far up the leaderboard. And I feel like that's kind of like a special thing we have, because you don't get a lot of quality bites around here, right? So you're always just you're looking to try to catch your limit, and then on top of that you're just going to try to go catch one big one. Or sometimes if you're like me, I go hunting for a big one first, and then I'll try to scrounge out my limit. But I feel like that is a kind of common thing for us West Virginia guys anyways.
Yeah, I agree. And it could be also, I mean, where we grind, all day long trying to find that one big fish. I think that kind of instills something in us not to give up, throughout until, literally the last cast. And some other guys that I don't want to call anglers from, states with better bodies of water spoiled. But I mean, when you go out and you're used to catching those types of fish all day long, every day, and you go on tournament day and things ain't shaping out well for you. I mean, do those guys really, grind it out like we do?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I'll put it this way. I catch I go out of state and I'll catch a 15, 16 incher, and I'll think, oh my gosh, man, like this is a giant, you know what I mean? And you just kind of get that confidence boost when, to go get the next one and go get the next one. It's not like, I feel like people who are from out of state, they catch like you say, they catch, just another 2-pounder or whatever, and they're just thinking, oh, it's just a 2-pounder. Well, 2-pounder here is a big thing, it's a big deal.
Right.
That's a great quality fish here. So, you definitely want as many as you can get in your limit. So, that's a good point. So. Oh, man. So we're going to bring up, we'll kind of move on to our next little thing we had here. Speaking of quality fish here in West Virginia, you made a whole data sheet. Now, I don't know how many of these you've made, but I definitely want to get as many as I possibly can. I'm going to try to post these up on the website, or maybe have you post these up on the website, because these are pretty awesome. But I wanted to share this with the viewers, and I'm going to move it around here. But this is, and I'll let you explain what this is. I think it's popped up on your screen, but this is the West Virginia kayak fishing tournament catch data. So if you can go through and kind of explain that would be cool.
Sure. So and this is a little dated as far as we didn't. Chase and I were just texting back and forth, and so this kind of literally just got brought up out of the blue. And so the data there is not current. I think it's a year or two old. But like I said, I'm a data analyst. That's what I do for my job. So I like crunching numbers and looking at things like this. And so, for you all that know how the kayak fishing trails work, they use an app called TourneyX to judge their fish. And so all this data, all the catch data is publicly available out on that website. And so, a year or two ago, I went out and basically for all the West Virginia trails, went out to every one of the tournaments that they had in the last 2 years. And I think I took their top 10. I didn't take every angler in the field because that would have took a long time to compile all that. But basically, I just took the top 10 catch data from each tournament for each of the West Virginia kayak trails and compiled all that data together and broke it down by bodies of water, by season, and things like that. And I think there's some really, to me, there's some really interesting things that you can learn from looking at stuff like this. And there was some things that surprised me as far as how some bodies of water stacked up against other bodies of water in the state. I mean, I think like someone like West Virginia DNR would be extremely interested in utilizing something like this to, kind of see how certain bodies of water are performing and things like that. So,
yeah, and I got one I see here just right off one I caught right off whenever you sent it to me. I just happened to look at the catches over 18 inches, and it's wild to me that the Greenbrier has more catches over 18 inches than the New River or the Upper Mud Lake. Or some of the bigger lakes we have in the state. I think that's pretty wild to me that's even a thing. Because normally most of the time when you think the Greenbrier, you're thinking 12, 13 inches most of them. But that's some interesting info. So we will definitely probably post this up on the website for people to see. I think that might be something cool to post. But yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah, I agree, man. That caught my eye too. And then if you kind of go over to the side of that, the next little chart, the Greenbrier, if you go down, it actually, a majority of the catches on the Greenbrier are in that 10 to 15 inch range. But yeah, so it is, but it looks like when somebody catches a nice fish, it's a good one. So it's kind of interesting how that data kind of breaks down. So
yeah, man, it's definitely different. I mean, and I'm just kind of looking here, just at the kind of the catch breakdown, even on the AEP, the recreation lane. Now, I've never been there, but my gosh, I mean, that is insane. That there's so many fish of that size, and that's another good thing you kind of pointing out before the show was, you can kind of tell when a lake is going to be on the rise just of the numbers that are, you're be able to break down here and show the amount of, 15 to 16 inch, 16 to 17 inch fish. And that kind of gives you an idea, going forward, what the lake has to offer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, Upper Mud, just looking at those numbers, and it's been, like I said, it's been a while since I've looked at these numbers, but Upper Mud, 70% of the fish catches on that body of water is between 12 and 17 inches. So, I mean, you would just assume in the next couple of years, obviously those fish are going to be growing, and that body of water is really going to be producing here shortly. So,
yeah, man, that's another thing, and I'll attest to it because I fish there all the time. Right now we're seeing this trend, and I, just talking to the people that I know that fish up there quite a bit, they're not catching the quality fish that we used to catch up there. Like now here the past few years, we haven't really, we're catching, every now and then you'll catch a pretty good one, but not like it has been in previous years. And you're seeing a lot of those, like your data shows, you're seeing a lot of those 3-pounders, 2.5, 3-pounders that we typically weren't really catching before. We was catching, it was either, used to a few years ago, it was only, you might catch, some 12, 13 inches, but most of the time you were catching, fish well over 18 inches long. And it seemed like that was pretty common for the lake. But over here the past few years, we've kind of seen that decline. So that's kind of neat. That's kind of some neat info. I will definitely use this one day, but yeah, definitely cool. So, well, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of get feedback from your audience on some stats that would be helpful or interesting to them, and then maybe we can go out and try to figure out ways we could compile that data and present that in the same way we did this. I mean, I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna put this out there for everyone else to that's watching the show. And I don't know what. Actually, I'm gonna ask you this because I might actually send you this stuff over. How easy? I mean, I don't know how exactly you go about doing that type of stuff, but dude, I would be willing to send you some stuff over from the Marshall trails over the years, and let you put something together. I don't know if you'd be willing to do that, but I have everything ready, ready and available, whatever you need it on.
Yeah, send it over to me and I'll check it out. I mean, the more granular the data is, the better. So, that makes it a lot easier on me to kind of compile and break it down like that. But, and if it's in like an Excel sheet or something, that's ideal.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've got data sent over to me that's on like a Word document or
Yeah.
something. And I mean, that's fine. But then, basically I got to turn around and type
Put
it
it
into
on,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, anything like that it's already kind of structured, and the more granular the better. You can do more in-depth analysis on things like that. But yeah, send it over. I'll see what I can do for you, and we can try to kind of paint a picture of what the fishing's been like on the Marshall Trail the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be cool. That would definitely be cool. And I'm gonna put this out there for and I'll actually just let you kind of address the viewers, and I don't just kind of off of what you said a minute ago, just about the seeing the stats and that type of different thing. I guess if they're willing to send that stuff over, I guess we could probably compile some of that data over, just to see on our lakes. I feel like there could be some useful data, to see. The size of the catch where people are catching and that type of stuff, here around home, and see what bodies of water need work and what bodies of water are doing better than the others.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, man. Well, we're kind of getting to the end of our little deal here, and I'm going to. Oh, it looks like we have Joey on the other line, and we're gonna bring him in, and we're probably going to. Get ready to take off on the next segment of the show. But, dude, I don't know. I tried to look up. Do you have Facebook anymore?
I don't have Facebook, man. I got off.
Didn't think so.
I've almost been off Facebook for a year now. So
wow.
I quit cold turkey and haven't come back yet. So
impressive. So, man, well, listen, I know you got a busy tournament. I don't know what you got coming up next. I think you're probably going to fish the New River this weekend, I imagine, aren't you?
I would love to, but I'll be at the beach with the family.
So well, enjoy that. So, well, man, we're going to leave you to it. I don't know if you have any way for anybody to reach out to you or, follow you up on social media, but feel free to leave any of that out there for the viewers. I know we used to have you on the show all the time, and we had a great time back then. But man, anytime you want to come back, just give me a holler.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and like I said, let me know what your audience thinks of the stat breakdown. If there's something I can help you all out with, just let me know. I'll be happy to put something together for you.
Absolutely. We're gonna look into probably doing something on the website here soon with that. So I'll shoot you a text here soon.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to y'all later.
See you, Chris.
Later.
All right, and just like that, Mr. Chris Schafer, everybody. That was a great little segment. We got to bring in Chris and discuss the Hobie BOS on the Susquehanna and all that good stuff, and got to do a little data breakdown. But without further ado, we have our co-host here, and he's waiting on the other line. But we got some interesting topics we're going to talk about tonight, and I lost my little sheet. There it is. And we got some interesting stuff we're going to talk about. We got a few results we're going to flip through. And then we are going to dig right into the show for tonight that I've been waiting to talk about. And we got an interesting one. And pretty excited to talk about it. And so without further ado, let's bring in Joey here. So let me get this all set up here. Oh, there we go. Mr. Gress, can you hear us? Uh-oh. Well, it looks like he's looked like Mr. Joey left out. I don't know what happened there, but we'll let him try to reconnect here. But in the meantime, we are going to run through a few results from over the weekend that I know that we had some local fishermen in. Other than the Hobie Bass Open on the Susquehanna, shout out to those guys who did well in that. Joshua Jordan, shout out to you, man, for that 16th place. But we got Joey now trying to rejoin. Let's try this one more time. Uh-oh. There he is. Can you hear us, Joey?
Yes.
There he is.
I can hear you. I think we're
good.
We're on a delay again.
Yep, probably so.
But I'm here.
There we go. Well, man, we just got done. I don't know if you probably caught the tail end of it, but I just got done chatting with Chris about the Hobie BOS tournament on the Susquehanna, and we kind of did a little recap of some data he had from not only that event, but from around the state. So that was pretty neat to look at all that. Probably going to get that posted up on the website. I'm going to show Chris kind of how to post up on that. Maybe he's willing to do that. Maybe do some data on some future stuff. So, again, if you guys have some cool data or something you want broke down, do send it over to the Facebook page. Even if that's old tournament results or whatever, if you have some old data that you'd like to share, send that over to me because we can probably, I'm sure Chris can break it down in some way and look at it in an analytical way. He's very talented at that, so I'm definitely going to try to pry him a little bit and post some more stuff. But man, Joey, how have you been, man? And what's been going on with Joey here the past week?
Oh, you know what's going on. I've been all right. Not too bad. Just been working. Literally working every day. Trying to get the boat out as much as possible. Recently got to go out to local lake. I blanked. It was very tough. It was very, very tough. But I only got out for a few hours. But hey, I'll take it.
There you go.
Yeah, but other than that, I've been good. How was St. Clair?
St. Clair was a blast, man, and shout out to Tony and Tina for taking me up there. It was definitely a memorable trip. We had some exciting things. We'll kind of jump into that here in a minute, but definitely a trip to remember. It was memorable. I'll put it that way. Caught plenty of smallmouth. Had a blast. Caught plenty of new personal bests this week. Not for me, but for Kelsey, caught quite a few. Luke also, John's son, caught quite a few of his new personal bests. He kept upgrading and upgrading. So it was definitely a fun week, man. We had a blast. But dude, let me jump into these results, and then we'll kind of jump into St. Clair. We'll talk about that. And then, man, we're going to jump right into our topic for tonight because we have a interesting topic. We're about 30 minutes deep into this, so I want to try to keep this right at an hour, but if we run over, that's all good. So, all right. Anyway, we're going to jump right into the Fishers of Men West Virginia Ohio East Division. Just finished up their season this weekend up on Chautauqua Lake in Pennsylvania. And, man, it was a 2-day tournament. Both weights were separated, so you had day 1, day 2. Both weights were zero. The weights were zeroed after each day. But taking home the win on day number 1, Aaron Riffle and Ryan Smith won day 1 with 17 pounds and 3 ounces. So the story about that was, so they take the top points finisher to the national championship, and Ryan and Aaron had closed in on Dustin and Joe Osgood that were holding the lead down, and got pretty close, man. Got pretty close. It come down to the last day of fishing, and to decide that national championship berth. And on day 2, Dustin Dennis and Joe Osgood won the points by just 3 points. On day 2, they weighed in 17 pounds and 6 ounces and took the win that day. And man, what a tournament! There was some great weights at Chautauqua, as expected. That place is incredible largemouth fishery, yes. And so pretty interesting to follow along with that. I definitely pretty cool after day 1. I saw where it was going to be the points were going to be close going into the second day. I didn't know it was a 2-day tournament. Second day, so I was definitely trying to keep up with that, and I actually when I got home I refreshed my feed to try to see if they had concluded that, and sure enough they did. So. So congratulations to Dustin and Joe for advancing to the Fishers of Men National Championship. I don't know where that's held exactly, but I do know that they made it through the points. So congratulations to those guys. They definitely deserved it. Dustin is a heck of a fisherman, and same can be said for Joe. So, all right, moving forward. Also over the weekend, man, we had the Bassmaster Junior National Championship on Carroll County Lakes down in Huntington, Tennessee. And man, our youth showed out again, and didn't take the win this year, but we had some great finishes beyond our boys, and I'm beyond proud of them for going down there and representing West Virginia well. They done a great job, and so I just want to run through that real quick. In 13th place was Carson and Kipton Dick from Wayne Middle School, along with their boat coach Kevin Dick. They done a fantastic job this week. I don't know the exact weight. I'm actually going to pull that up and see what they ended up with. But, congratulations to those guys. That's a heck of a finish. I believe that's their first ever national championship, so I expect to see them back there again. They've done a phenomenal job. Let's pull up the results.
How many
here.
boats were in this championship this year?
I believe 60. They had 64 qualifying, and what was cool is, man, we had 3 boats in it, which was probably the most of any state, I believe, because we had 2 from our state. Yeah, we had 2 from our state. One was from the points. They gave a championship berth to the points, and then they gave a championship berth to the actual state championship winner. And then Bo and Airy actually requalified for. Right. They requalified by winning last year, so it actually worked out pretty good. We ended up getting 3 teams in there, and man, I'm gonna try to pull these results up real fast so we can see how our boys done. They have the results up, they do, and so they ended up finishing. Carson and Kipton had on day 1 had 4 pounds and 3 ounces with 5 fish. On day 2 had a much better day. Looked like they caught a big one. Day 2 ended up with 912. And on day 2, which gave them a total of 1311, they actually or 1305. I'm sorry, they had a giant on day 2, which is pretty common for not Chautauqua, but Carroll County Lakes. That place pumps out big ones. I've never been there before, but supposedly it's a little honey hole. So we will scroll down here to 20. Okay, finishing up in 22nd was our Southern West Virginia Junior Bassmasters of Luke Stewart and Austin Craze, who on day 1 had 5 fish for 5 pounds and 8 ounces. On day 2, finished up with 410 with a total of 1002 for 2 days of fishing. So cracked up inside the top 25. So congratulations to those boys for bringing home another top 25. And then rounding out, we had Bo and Airy, who had a little bit of trouble on day 1. I assume whenever they put the boat in the water that morning, they had a little trolling motor problem, and actually had to get the trolling motor swapped in the middle of the pouring rain. And shout out to, and I want to make sure that I'm right on this, Maryland. There was a couple folks from Maryland Bass Nation who actually had a spare trolling motor and actually swapped it out, helped them swap it out, and got those boys back on the water. So big shout out to those folks who made that happen. That made my whole day. Awesome. It goes to show that us, our bass fishing community, we're one big family, and we try to take care of each other the best we can. So, but that was pretty much the recap on the juniors. So congratulations to those guys for going down there and competing and representing us well. They done a fantastic job, man. I'm proud of them. They done a great job. But we're gonna move into our topic for the show tonight. We have a pretty interesting topic, Joey, and I don't know if you got to see much on it, but
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely controversial. We saw I left it up on the Facebook for some people to comment and kind of got some feedback on it. But the Major League Fishing controversy that is going on right now between the with a disqualification of an angler after he was caught soliciting for information. So we're gonna kind of dive into that and what all that entails. So. It came to my attention that, and this is what's weird about this. So, and I don't want to get everyone's opinion. Y'all can leave your opinion in the comment and let me know how you feel. But, so it appears to me and I don't know why MLF waited so long to make this announcement. But it was obvious that Jeff Sprague had solicited for information for an event, for the first event of the year. I believe it was on Lake Darbon, and had solicited for some information. He had been texting. I don't know who exactly this was. I didn't dig that deep, but he was definitely texting somebody for information. Got caught in the middle of it. Got wrapped up in the middle of it. But it was said that they had these texts from all the way back, dating back to February, that they had these texts. Now, if I'm a tournament organization, I'm not really sure if, I'm not really sure if waiting around till July to disqualify somebody who you know was intentionally breaking the rules back in February, that you knew in February, was a good idea to wait till July to then disqualify him and then, make the press release about it. Now, that being said, and I've heard this on Luke Duncan's podcast, that bad press is not necessarily what Major League Fishing or any tournament organization is trying to do. They don't want to put that out there just because that's not a great look for them. It's not a great look for their sponsors because, as we all know, and some of you do know, well, I won't say all of us, but some of us do know that Major League Fishing actually shares a sponsor with some of the Jeff Sprague sponsors. So, not really sure why they waited till July. I'll let you all decide what you think about it, but I think that it had to do something with their sponsors, and it was kind of probably thrown onto the table, and they weren't really going to try to say anything about it until there might have been some upset anglers who were going to speak out about it if they didn't, and so MLF probably stepped up as good as they could in that moment and made that press release. So definitely pretty sad, man. I mean, that's honestly a little pitiful that that type of stuff happens, and I don't really know. I don't feel like that's right. I feel like if there's a rules infraction and you knew about it right off the gate, it was better off for you to go ahead and make that press release then instead of waiting 5 months to make that release. That just didn't make much sense to me. I didn't understand that. I guess they were going to try to throw it under the rug until maybe there was some push and shove from the anglers, and I don't know. All right, I'll let everybody make their mind up on that. But yeah, I listened to the podcast. Yeah, and I listened to part of the podcast with Luke Duncan over this morning, and he was pretty much and he was talking with Zach Burge, and Zach Burge made a great point, and this is what's kind of cruddy about that whole situation is. So I want y'all to keep this in mind. Zach Burge, I don't remember what exact tournament this was, but there was this year. He actually didn't do too well the first day. Found himself way back in the field. Actually called the tournament director to see if he could leave the tournament early, and then he was going to try to leave the tournament early, drive to Virginia to the James River and try to get another practice day for the Open, for the Bassmaster Open. And the tournament director's words were exactly, no, he said you can go, but you're going to face up to a $25,000 fine plus suspension from the next tournament. For leaving early. For leaving the event early. Not soliciting for information, not blatantly cheating, but leaving the tournament early so he could go to another tournament. And they were going to fine him $25,000 plus suspend him from the next tournament. So to me, like, what in the world are they doing over there, man? Like, you got a guy blatantly cheating. You're going to slap him on the wrist. You're going to take his check, and you're going to let him fish. You're going to let him fish the last event of the year. Meanwhile, the other guy tries to leave the event early. He's going to get fined $25,000. Not going to make a check, and then he's not going to be able to compete in the next event. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's honestly just it's cruddy. It just goes to show you that, and I'm not gonna sit here and speak for I'm not gonna speak one way or the other, but I'll let you guys make your opinion on it. You know where I stand, but I mean to me that is not fair at all. So I definitely think something has to be done there. Something definitely has to be done there. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what their plan is moving forward. But I mean, there's gonna be a lot of mad anglers over there, and they're gonna have their hands full. So do what they want. But I'm not here to speak one way or the other. But that's a whole hornet's nest over there.
That does not need to be happening when you are one of the top, let's say, tournament leagues, so to speak, in the industry right now. Definitely not a good look for them, especially when they were not just growing, but they're just recently starting to get big here in the past couple years, and not good, not very good.
Yeah, man, it's not good, not a good look for them. They I mean, here the past few years, I mean, ever since the split, it's always been controversial. Some of the things they've done, and I just felt like just here recently, over the past year, they did a good job. They've kept their nose out of most of things. Right. They've done a good job, scheduling and other than they scheduled over top of the Bassmaster Classic with the Bass Pro Tour event, which I thought was kind of petty. But they haven't started too much controversy until now, and I just felt like now once that came out and that all happened, it was it's not a good look for them. So again, we'll let the viewers decide what they think about the situation. So you guys let me know what y'all think about that situation down in the comments, and we'll go back through and look at those at a later time. But one more thing before we cap off here, we booked through the show pretty quick. I don't know if you saw. I think I sent it to you earlier. Really? Did you send this to me earlier? Did I send this to you earlier? The Texas angler, the Texas high school angler.
Yeah, you sent it to me, but I saw it. I don't know, about a week ago-ish around.
Yeah, it was about a week ago. Yeah, it was about a week ago since I saw it, and I kind of want to get everybody else's take on this as well. So I don't know if anybody saw it or who all did see it. Oh my gosh, man, I'm awful tonight. I don't know if anybody else did see it, but there was a Texas high school angler that was caught cheating on a small local. Yeah, there was actually two. But there was actually, I think, one that had done it blatantly. I think there was one, but I think I'm actually not sure how the story worked. I haven't read it in about a week.
I'm pretty sure it was one that got caught in the act, if I'm not mistaken. Then, the other one, they were fishing together. Or, I don't know, some along those lines.
Yeah.
I haven't kept up with it since, like you said, about a week ago.
Yeah, it's been about a week since I read it, but actually, I'll pull it up here, and we'll you know what? We'll just pull it up here, and we'll just look at it ourselves. Let's see here, just so I'm 100% sure on this. Man, I haven't.
Bad time to see all this stuff happen.
We're seeing a lot of. It just seems like these summer months, we see this cheating thing come about, and I don't understand why. It seemed like last year about this time there was another incident. Let's see if I can find it here. It was, man, where in the world is this?
Can you check our messages?
Yeah, I can, but I don't have it readily available. Let's see.
Right.
Man, I'm thinking, what was that? Do you remember the name of the lake, Joey, off the top of your head? Do you have your phone handy?
It is Eagle Mountain Lake.
Yeah, that's it. All right, hold on just a second. pull this up here. And we'll talk about this real quick. Oh, here we go. I found it. So, in the post it says, on June 14th, I received word that someone had found laundry baskets tied together and placed in the water with fish in them. It was early in the day prior to our tournament, and the game warden was notified but was unable to get to the lake before the fish were released by the person who had found them. We had no idea who placed the basket, but assumed that it might be from someone's fishing the tournament that night. There was a man named Ryan Dusek agreed to wait in the tree line and watch once the tournament started to see who, if anyone, would go look for those fish. Just a few minutes after the start of the tournament, I received word there was a boat with a young man, unknown who was at the time, who was looking at the basket. He pulled the basket up, saw the fish were missing. However, there was a second basket of fish that the game warden and whoever found the basket first missed. My guy hiding in the tree, the Ryan, who was hiding in the tree, was able to video this person pull the basket up, dump the fish into his boat, and then he idled out a little ways and began placing the fish on cold tags and placing them into his live well. So to me, and there's just some others, says that another guy and himself, the guy that made the post, immediately went to his boat and personally saw him picking up the fish in his boat. And when he noticed us, he said he started throwing the bass back into the water. I called out to him, and then he pulled up next to him, confronted him about the fish. He denied he was cheating and stated that he just happened to find the basket with bass and that he was going to keep them in his live well to release them later back into the water. At that point, that guy had requested to submit it to a polygraph, and the angler had refused. So, to me,
Which, in that,
go ahead.
In that, on that post, it said in the rules of the division or league, whatever they were fishing in, that if you had refused a polygraph test, you were disqualified from that tournament.
Yes.
I wrote on there. So immediately he was disqualified, but other than that, that's
immediately he's disqualified. There was definitely proof, man, and it's kind of sad to see that this, happens to a young kid at this age. That, but it just goes to show you that, hey, listen, if you're gonna come fishing, you're gonna do it. You do it legit. Don't try to beat around the bush. Don't try to cheat. That is not how we're supposed to raise our children. I don't know, there can be a lot can be said about that, and I feel like that's pretty petty. So, I'm not gonna mention the names. If you guys saw it, then you know who it is. But it's not a good situation down there in Austin, Texas. So, what my advice is on this situation. If you even think about cheating, man, shame on you. Shame on you. It's one thing to cheat on purpose. It's another thing to cheat and not know you did it, right? But when you have laundry baskets tied up with fish in them, there's no excuse. None. Zero. There's no excuse at all why you should be doing that. That's not only cheating, but that can fall under felonies. You know what I mean? So, and the same thing can be
very much so.
Mm-hmm. The same thing can be said. The same thing can be said for Jeff Sprague. He knew the rule, blatantly knew the rule, and solicited for information anyways. And to me, that's not cheating. That's almost stealing. That's stealing from the other guys who are doing it legitly. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like, and I hate to say this, man, but I feel like there is more cheating that goes on in tournament bass fishing than we know. And it's sad to say that, but absolutely pitiful. No excuse for that. So shout out to those guys who put them on blast, because that doesn't need. And I wish this story would have got a lot larger than it was. I mean, it was a big story, but it should have been way bigger than this. So, hopefully this never happens again, and hopefully he learned his lesson. And I hope they just don't slap him on the wrist, man, because that deserves more than a slap on the wrist. So, but man, cheaters. What are you gonna do?
No fun.
No fun. Well, listen, man. We're gonna wrap this up. This was I know we didn't get to talk much. We're gonna go into the St. Clair thing because I told everybody I would. But I know. So you did fish over the weekend. Let's hear about your little fishing excursion.
So let's run it back to last weekend. I actually got to go. Got to go for a few more than I did a couple days ago. I went to Portage Lakes in Ohio. I've never been there. Very, very good bass fishing. Like I said, I've never been there, so I was just fishing then. I caught 2, I believe, and my buddy, he caught 3, then he missed like a handful more. But definitely a very, very cool lake I've never been to. It's different than any sort of other lake around home. It's just a bunch of lakes fed through canals almost. Like it's kind of like a Florida lake, and it's chock full of grass, and I'd really like to get to know it when I'm up here. But in the meantime, yeah. Then yesterday I went to a lake called Salt Fork Lake here in Ohio. I didn't know it was such a bass fishery until I was talking to a game warden after I got off the water, and he was talking about how bad it was.
Wow.
On top of when the water temp ranged from 86 to like 84-ish is what I was seeing. Yeah. I got one little nibble yesterday, and that's about it.
Wow. Yeah, that's not not fun. Oh man. Well,
no.
Sounds like you're having a heck of a time up there in Ohio, and man, when are you coming back?
Well, so I get to leave here the 12th, but I think I'm just gonna come back to Stonewall because I will be fishing that Big Bass Clash.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Yeah, not to go ahead and plug. I guess we can go ahead and plug that, right? Can we go ahead and plug it early? We're gonna plug it early. So I don't know if you guys saw it. I haven't said anything about it. I actually probably post it tomorrow. But the Marshall Big Bass Clash, myself, and Tyler Drown are going to be putting that on. Another Big Bass tournament style event. August 13th on Stonewall Jackson. You guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be an awesome time. Hourly payouts, plus we're going to have overall payout at the end of the day. Definitely come out and support this. All the money we're raising that 13th will be used for the national championship. Because I imagine it's going to be quite a pricey trip for us to take down there. So, if you guys are around the area, if you don't have anything to do the 13th, come jump in. We're gonna have a great time. I'll be there. I'll be weighing in the fish. We're gonna see some big ones, man, and I can't wait to run it. I know I talked with Grant and those guys from the Great Outdoors, and man, they had a great time running it. We had a great time fishing it, but I'm actually excited to run it. I think we're gonna see some pretty cool stuff unfold during the day. So, very excited for that. So again, August 13th. Stonewall Jackson. You can either put in at the marina or you can put in at the Vandalia ramp. We'll have 2 people. We'll have 1 person at each ramp. Be there. Go ahead, Joey.
Beautiful. That answered my question.
Yep. You can put in at both. So we'll have one of us will be at the Vandalia ramp. One of us will be at the marina ramp, taking registration. All the weigh-in takes in at the marina. So definitely make sure if you're coming to fish, make sure to read the rules. I'll be giving out a set of rules to each angler as we get closer to that. But tournament times, registration starts at 5, lines in at 6, lines back out at 2 o'clock. The final weigh-in, the scales close at 2, so you have to have your fish in the tanks before 2 o'clock or right at 2 o'clock to be counted in. So make sure you know that. We'll kind of dive into that next week on next week's show, but yeah, definitely excited for that. So we're looking forward to that. Should be a great time. What else were we going into? I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
St. Clair.
St. Clair, yes, St. Clair. So, got wrapped up in the Marshall thing, man. Golly, you got me all excited. I'm just so excited to run that. So St. Clair, I left last Tuesday. Yep, for St. Clair. Went up there late Tuesday night. Didn't get there till about 4 o'clock in the morning. Slept about 30 minutes till about 5:30, about 5-ish or something. I don't know. Was up pretty late. Slept about 30 minutes. Went out on the lake. Man, had a phenomenal day Tuesday. Best 5 of mine by myself. Went almost 21 pounds. Had a great day. Just out there fun fishing, having a good time. Great time. Didn't go far from the Metro Park. Didn't make any crazy runs. We just stayed right real close and caught all kinds of fish. Day 2. And this is where I kind of want to give some advice to those who have never been to the Great Lakes, to those who watch the show but who are thinking about going to the Great Lakes and have never been, and what to expect. So, I've been to the Great Lakes quite a few times now in my life. Not a rookie, I don't guess. I mean, I still feel like I'm pretty young. I don't know as much as other guys, but what I do know is how to stay safe out there and how to make the most of your trip. So what I suggest, I guess, going into this is, guys, number one is always have all your safety equipment that you need. Even you make sure you have all your Coast Guard, all the things that you'll need to be Coast Guard approved. But also, it doesn't go without saying, man. Make sure you have life jackets. Make sure that all your safety things are up to date. Because in a situation like I saw over the weekend or over last week, I'm just glad I was there because it could have been a lot worse had I not been there in the moment. Fortunately, I just happened to be there. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a incident where a friend of mine, him and his son, had actually, the bilge pump had failed on their boat, and they didn't know it at the time. And after so long, they just took some waves over the back. We're out there in pretty rough water, 3-4 footers. So you're taking some waves over the back. And over time, if you're taking 3 and 4 footers over the back, you're getting a little bit back in the, back of the boat. That's going to fill up pretty quick. And if you don't know that your live wells, you're not your live well, but you don't know that your bilge pump isn't working, you can fill up your boat and never even know it, and then it would be too late whenever you do find out. So, it looks like we're freezing. Uh-oh. Hang on just a second.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it looks like we're...
my delay.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like we were freezing. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. But yeah, it can be very, very, you can get caught up in being something pretty bad in a hurry and not even realize it. And that would just happen to be the case, what I saw over the weekend. They're definitely scary, man. It's always definitely important to check and make sure your equipment is, just frequently. You don't have to check it every 10 minutes, but every so often, go back there, check and make sure your equipment's running properly, your bilge pumps are working. Because man, it can be a life or death, experience, something life or death situation if you don't know what's going on in the moment. So, dude, are we losing connection again? Oh my god, dude, what is?
I have no clue, man.
I have no idea. I think my audio is still picking up, but I'm not really sure. I don't know. It keeps freezing. Not fun. Technology sucks, man. Anyway, I guess I will.
Yes.
Are you still there? Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I still got you. So I'm gonna ramble through this because I'm not sure what's going on here. But anyways, back to my point that I was saying that it's important to make sure your equipment's up to date, man. Make sure your equipment's running properly. Make sure you have all your safety. Whether that's flares, whether that's life jackets. Because in a situation like we were in, if I wouldn't have been there, they wouldn't have been able to access their flares. Maybe possibly not even their phones. They would have just been sitting out there with their life jackets on top of the boat, waiting for somebody to come get them, or somebody to drive by. So definitely a scary situation. I don't wish that upon nobody, but. If you are planning to make a trip to the Great Lakes, make sure you have all your equipment in check. Make sure everything's up top notch, and make sure you have all your safety, your PFDs and all that good stuff. So, because I definitely don't want to see anybody, either get injured or lose their life out there because it's not worth it, man. Not worth it. So, but man, I think that's all we're gonna do. I had a great time at St. Clair though, minus the sunk boat. We had a great time, man. We enjoyed it. We had caught a bunch of fish. Kelsey got to catch her PB, which was pretty cool. Got to be there to witness that, and man, had a blast. So can't wait to go back next year, and hopefully we'll go back next year. I don't know, but have a great time. So Joey, we have another show, so we are doubling down on. We are doubling down on shows this week. We have a show with Nolan Ewing coming up. We're gonna do the Hobie BOS if we can get them on. The Hobie BOS winners, first and second place, the Minor brothers. We're gonna pull them on probably later this week because I'm gonna actually be gone. That is awesome. Yeah, dude, it's incredible story. We're gonna get that whole story. But yes, I'll be gone the 15th, so we're actually gonna do a show this week for them, and then next Monday we're gonna bring in another guest. Don't know who yet, and do a show then, and then I'll be gone for the week. So be looking for that show next Tuesday with Nolan and Ewing. So, man, awesome stuff. Thank you for joining along. Yeah. It's been good. I've been rambling as always, but thanks for Chris for coming along. We had a great time with him. Got some pretty cool insight, but dude, we're gonna wrap this up. We're an hour and 6 minutes in, and I'm sure these people are tired of listening to me talk. So if you sticked around for the whole thing, make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you give it a like. Go down if you're not subscribed to the channel. Go down there, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out, helps me out, helps us out a ton. Eventually, I want to get this thing to some point where I can get some cool, fancy stuff for the show, and that will only help me along to doing that. So, man, that's it. That's it. We're gonna wrap this up, Joey. Any last words from Joey before we wrap this up?
No last words. Stay classy. Go catch us some fish. We shall see you guys next time.
Yep. As always, guys, we will see you guys on the water later. Show number 40. We're out.